we got a trailer. So today we got the trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 and it looks fucking amazing. People say that this doesn't look like gameplay, it looks like CGI, but on closer inspection it actually does look like in-game, well, in-engine footage at least. So we get many beautiful shots which show us the world a little bit. Some of them seem to be proving to look like locations from the first Red Dead game, which would support the alleged leaked map from back sometime earlier this year. On the premise that some locations look like locations that were in the first Red Dead game are listed on said map. I want to mention two things. This camp looks really warm and sort of, you know, like a nice thing for the game, like a gameplay feature that people will enjoy, like, you know, set up a camp and shit. And also the stars in the background look beautiful as fuck, and they really cast a nice light over the rest of the image and the scenery here, as well as the fire being a nice colour as well. That also helps. Next up we have this, which shows us a man walking with his horse, or whatever the hell that happens to be. It's got something on his back. I think it's a kill, so it's a horse, and it looks like in-game footage because he moves like an NPC, not like a rendered CGI character. So I feel as if the choppy movement, the somewhat choppy movement, is a hint that this is actually gameplay footage we're watching. I'm under the impression that this is in-engine footage, so I'm going to compliment how it looks. The water looks absolutely beautiful for one, and also the lighting over in the left looks also kind of nice, and how it sort of reflects on the tree, through the tree, and on the water, of course, and how the water looks, how the mist in the water looks and everything. It looks overall very, very nice. Also, it makes me think that perhaps a canoe is a way to travel the waters in the game as a mode of transport. Here we see a train accompanied by a load of buffaloes, so that means that we could be seeing stampedes or herds of these things just hanging around, and maybe they could pose a threat to the character, maybe they could pose a threat to you. Maybe trains will be back as a mode of transport, definitely. So yeah, that's basically all that we grasp here. The lighting definitely looks like some games that have come out, like Mafia 3's lighting, and it looks sort of like lovely. And of course I really like how the lighting sort of enters the barn there, which is also very nice, and yeah, like I said before, lovely. If you look at the dog and the guy with the rifle in the white shirt, they look like NPCs. It looks like it's gameplay. It definitely isn't pre-rendered. This is in-engine and probably gameplay, and how they're going to react in gameplay. And the dog looks really nice, really detailed, and the guy in the background, he sort of looks a little bit out of place, but at the same time he doesn't. I suppose that's because this is in-engine footage on what's meant to be sort of cinematic, I suppose. Here we get a shot of horses with 7 riders, which is exactly the amount of people we got on the teaser art for Red Dead Redemption 2, as seen here. This makes me believe that the people on the horses in this shot are actually none other than the people in that artwork depicted as a teaser sort of thing, and they're here because it's obviously hinting, it's making a relation. They've got 7 riders there, they've got 7 people on the cover art. Those are the 7 characters on that cover art, or whatever. I don't think it's the cover art necessarily, but that artwork. But basically what I'm trying to get at is that these are the characters that were teased before the trailer even came out. I also really like how the dust settles there, sort of how they sort of cause a disturbance in the dust. It flies up all over the place. It looks really dynamic, and if this is actual gameplay, then that's lovely. I also really like the lighting, so how the light reflects off of the sand or dust or whatever, and also how the light in the sky looks, as it's very sort of, it looks dynamic in itself, to be honest with you. The only dialogue in the trailer is as follows in a moment, and I want to talk about this afterwards, and it's very interesting.
When the time comes, you gotta run and don't look back. This is over.
It sounds like he's saying, when the time comes, you gotta run and don't look back. This is over. Who could he be talking to? Simple answer is he's talking to the protagonist. The game is still called Red Dead Redemption, so by that concept of the name alone, the game is probably going to focus around the concept of redemption. Therefore meaning that one of the members of this gang probably feels guilt for something and wishes to be redeemed. Which is almost nearly what John Marston's story was about. It was about him being changed from the person he was and being a better person in the present. As before, he was a cold-blooded killer, and by the events of Red Dead Redemption, he was more of a bounty hunter on the side of the law. Also here, this reinforces the idea that we're looking at actual in-engine footage, as this looks like in-engine footage. It looks like gameplay, because of how the NPC here is moving, or maybe even character, how he's moving, and also the embers. They look very, you know, quite crisp. Everything looks sort of sharp, and that makes me that all the giveaways that is his gameplay. And if it was CGI, it wouldn't be very good CGI, let's face it, but as gameplay, it's pretty solid stuff. All in all, I'm super hyped for this, and I can't wait to see it release in fall of 2017. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me what you think about this video, and for sure tell your friends about me. So yes, you know, I'm not big-headed or anything, but I think that was a good analysis. Your soul is mine.